Welcome to the Ascension Football Show. I'm Kieran Edwards. And most fans will know when we talk about forwards, we'll mention Sturgeon, mention Kenwin Jones, maybe we'll talk about Steve David. But for most old school players, when you talk about forwards, you would hear the name Nevik Dinoon. And today on set, we have the man, Nevik Dinoon.
Right back, boy. Yeah. But our generation changed the brand of Trinidad football.
We want to talk about Nevik Dinoon, the person, and his playing
He
days.
spent from 1978 until 1984 in defense force.
Talk about Nevik Dinoon, the
Spent from 1978
person, and his
until 1984.
playing for. As we said before, most old school players would call as a forward, selecting a forward will call Nevik Dinoon's name. And we have him on set today. Nevik, it's a pleasure to have you on set, sir.
Pleasure is all mine, for this opportunity here to at least let something from the unknown come to the known, and I think Trinidad needs that kind of historical background to ensure the direction forward, the generation I'm talking about right now, of Trinidad football, because right now we're in a state of wanting them. We've been found wanting them.
Been found wanted.
We've been found
I
wanted.
agree with that.
Yeah, we've been found wanting, and especially at the international standard. And my experience, I've been there in the background watching, hoping for the best and praying for the best. Right now, I really want to come to the fore. I will say advanced to be recognized in this time. Yeah.
Well, before we reach to that point, and persons and the public would get to understand who is Nevik Dinoon. I want persons to understand the history of Nevik Dinoon. So I wanted to take us through before we get into the debacle, which is Trinidad football, the ins and outs of Trinidad football, TTFA. We want to talk about Nevik Dinoon, the person, and his playing days as a player. So take us through your career as a player.
Well, first of all, this is a history lesson too, because I will call a real Caribbean person with respect to being full Trinidadian. I was born in Cuba, so my first primary school was Phoenix Park Government, Mr. Das and the principal down there in that time. That is in the 60s talking about. And there was a sudden move to Curepe from Point Lisas to Curepe, where the honing of the football skills started off there with Curepe Rangers. They had in the back of the house an old man named Bambas, Sunday morning football, Savannah Boys, Apollo 11, we had that team in 1969. Apollo 11, first time I playing big football with big men.
Big men.
And Central St. George football was going on, Texas, the big side in the east, So football was a thing. I remember the train line and all them kind of things there. So you run down the train line and making sure to make sure you come and watch football there. And the lessons, Tommy Rock from Curepe, the keeper, who really, used to be there with me, telling you how to kick. And you run down ball behind the goalpost now, as a youngster. Yeah. And them kind of things there. So, and you're learning the trade while you're going on. But education was always the foremost. So you're getting banned. No football for you, boy. Mommy saying, boy, your father ain't living here and this and that and, single parent and going up with granny and, these things. And going to Curepe Anglican School, Standard 5, you want to play football and you can't play because Mr. You know where to go.
Yeah.
You can't play no football and what primary shoot wet back and all these things. It didn't have that. So that kind of behavior, that education was the priority. So you learn to read and write. And I was fortunate I attended Hillview College. And days where I got to understand the bigger picture, call some of the teachers there, boy. Mr. Bido Maharaj, boy, but Mr. Richard Kukaram, that is the man. I remember Mr. Abala, Mr. Pierre, Spanish teacher, Ms. Reside. And a number of teachers who, influential. Mr. C.P. Maharaj. Some of the men who really influenced my thinking and my moving, because it was amazing. Again, you go in Hillview College and education is the key there again. But when you still link up with football.
Yeah, you have the same weight.
Right. But it never had no coach. So we get a little thing in Curepe Rangers. Move from Curep now and come St. Augustine to live. Different program now, St. Augustine, Mount St. Benedict up on the mountain. And seeing as a little fella, them big men up there kicking and things, that man say kick them tuku up on the mountain. Ooh, from half line he's scoring. So, them things that amaze me and hours spent in the savannah. But remember, you're going to Hillview College, so you had to try to balance that. So
You had to get
somehow you had to get it together. You had to get it together because I got one detention at a time and I was late coming because I went out and I'm kind of program and come to school teacher say, hey, you don't have that here, that's what I'm saying. So you had to condone and come up to the standard that was there, the required standard that was there. And going to school at Hillview College where we didn't have no coach and we had players, Hugh Harper, Sherman Smith, in school, influence was more the history teacher, Mr. Kokaram. I remember that first match. We went to play Holy Cross under 14, it's a small ground. They had a guy named, I remember his name Mervyn St. Martin. Mervyn St. Martin going Holy Cross. He's big and tall, playing under 14. And from half line, he's scoring on me.
Small ground, big and everybody.
Bullet. So.
Yeah.
3-0 halftime and Mr. Kokaram is saying, we're going to win this match. I say in myself. What is going on? He said, if we score 1 goal, we win this match. That's what he said, We get 7-1, and I was the fortunate person to score. And from that, I started my whole thinking then, be about winning, and behavior and all these things change. And while attending school here, Sherman Smith, who live in Tunapuna, you know what I mean? So I live in St. Augustine, and I'm going to school in Tunapuna, and get myself involved with Texas under 14. Earl Murray, I could say my first official coach, who was a school teacher, but also same play for Texas in the 60s with Texas with Gene and Godfrey Harris. You understand? That was the men national striker, Tommy Rock in goal. So that was excitement. So when I see he's the coach, I say yes, sir. So,
a man who did it before.
And he was also a teacher in Tunapuna. But people used to say Tesca, but it's really Texas, which is Tunapuna EC school. And functioning the football and then men saying Tesca, so we just go. So he was my teacher and educator and everything. I was able to hone some of his skills there, especially when you talk about goal scoring, because he used to play defense. And he liked when he seen us scoring, and like I tell you, kicking was the name of the game because we used to say shots. You know what I mean? Shots. When you get it free in the side half, big man, take a shot.
Yeah.
Down in the last post. Half power down in the last. So every time I get the ball free, because of the amount of hours spent kicking towards the goal, what they were saying is scientific approach, which is the approach that I bring in now in this time, where all the autonomic nervous system go and the muscles just function because of what the eyes see. So we offer the opportunities to the youth and them to practice in a scientific way, so that the autonomic nervous system will take charge of the athletes while the pressure is there. When the situation that they confront, they're able to react according to the training.
So after the school that helped you, where
well, what happened is that, again, at Trinidad in that time, I remember going through the pressure of 1974, we now get the 73, the robbery in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad looking for something going on. And they had, East St. George and Bursafel and all these things. But in 1974, they opened the National League. I was still a student at Hillview College. And watching the football and the army is the big side. But then during that time, Trinidad had now come from coming third place in the CFU in Canada taking places. And we were just under there. We came in 1976 with Roger Warner, and deceased Roger Warner was the coach. We had some players there, Brian Brown, I remember 1975 Trinidad colleges. I mean, while attending Hillview College, get selected for Trinidad College. So I know that's a big thing.
Yeah.
That was like, it was really amazing to see what football was doing for me at that time and still continue to do. So within that time now with the football 75, 76 youth team, I was selected to represent Trinidad first time 1976 youth team to go to Puerto Rico. And we went to that tournament and we reached the quarterfinals. Honduras beat us or something like that. But that was 1976. 1977, Mexico, who won the tournament, came to play us in 77 in Trinidad. And we beat them 1-0. But I was the scorer. So that was the next thing. That was, you know what I mean? as a student and all, you know, I mean, Hillview College again, most outstanding contribution to school life. So during that time, it was like, you know, the football was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pele was really the idol for it. We are number 10. Well, let's see, number 10, I don't know about
Yeah.
10. Like, number 10 is just, we was living for that.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, that is when TFA now, because they beat Mexico in youth football, yours truly down here, the Honorable LFA, Austin Jaguar. Well, he bangs it again bigger because they beat Mexico at youth level. That means you have something.
You have something coming.
That's something coming. To beat we, and they was going to Tunisia after winning the tournament, because after they win the CFU, they send it to the world.
Right.
So they came, and when they came and you know, so the boss of Mexico, you know, rating up here, rating up.
They have a good youth team. That's something to watch out
for. And in 1978, that is where the brigadier Ralph Brown come in, or we call him the major in them times, you know what I mean? And we could nearly the whole side. We had a skipper there, and I put him in he was one of the number 1 players in the team coming down in the game. His name Kalai Andrews. It's the calmest man I ever see under pressure. He's about 6'4" and calm. Nothing, he kicking it out. Because before the brand, and that way our generation changed the brand trend of football. Where it was more hit out to the strikers. Maybe because of the system, they was playing 4-4 and all these other things. But we, after certain experiences and international exposure, we want to bring it out.
Yeah,
nice. Look nice. Look nice.
Yeah.
Look nice. Be nice. You know, entertainment for the people, because the crowds were there, but you know, sparse and we wanted to bring the entertainment because we had been given that international exposure. But before that, my first flight in 1976 was with Fidelis when Venezuela to play. We had a team from Valsine with my good friend Dexter Skeen and Colin Skeen. The coach was Sedley Joseph Bonan Bain, 1976. Just before we went to Puerto Rico, we had, and that was another exposure that got me involved now at this time. The Caribbean Children Charity Shield Soccer Classic. This is the 7th year we
I want to get to that. I want to get to that just yet. I want to kind of give me the plane. So
right.
After,
so what happened after playing for school in 1978? Now joined the army. By now 19 years old. But with a certain exposure behind you coming in there. And like most of the youths among our age, I would call Pamphile Jones, Grantly Maxwell, Neptune. We had played together from youth.
Yeah.
So when 1978 reached and we Hey, look him, boy, you're home. And the order that we had with Mr. Brown, Major Brown, Colonel Brown, Brigadier Brown, Commander Brown. You know, you can't miss.
Yeah.
Don't miss. All if I was missing was really missing. You had to miss. And it was like, you know what I mean, life or death. To me, because I watching what could happen in that moment. The car fought to lose a match and all these soldiers coming down. Yeah, you know. When you go back in your company, it's a different kind of behavior when you win. You know what I mean? So I always say, I see that.
You want to win.
Winning is not everything, is the only thing.
Yeah.
so we start to cultivate a kind of, you know what I mean, experience at international standard. And also now playing club football for the Defense Force at the international level. With respect to you going St. Vincent, you're going Guyana, you're going Suriname, you're playing against these club teams. So that was now mounting the international quality that was required. So when we go and you play Guyana club side, you play Pele or some of them teams, and then you're going to play Guyana national team. You see some of the same players. Yeah. So when we go,
you had that confidence. You had that confidence from
confidence, and there's nothing to beat confidence. Confidence is halfway there already, and plenty of the athletes I'm seeing today don't have that confidence, that advanced confidence that takes you to the next level. So playing for the army over the years, winning. And we had some serious challenges, you know, at times. Because 1978 Army won everything, but 79 Police won. And that because from our being our goalkeeper from 1977, which is Michael Morris, from since before he joined the police service, we were playing for the youth team, and before that, we used to call him Sugars. So you know what I mean? Yeah. And Police win. So after that, 1980, the Army had a reshuffle with the coach, and they bring in Kenny Joseph. Because of the same brand, because we didn't want to play that
Boom. That
Yeah,
boom. Or
no,
they want to look nice, or they
nah.
want to keep the
Look
ball.
nice,
Yeah.
keep the ball
Yeah.
and juke it around on them and you know what I mean? International flavor.
Yeah.
So when you go and you play against them side, easy, tuning the guy and easy, easy, comfortable I'm talking about. When men gain outside that goal and all them things. But what's that happening? I was playing for the army and playing for the national team at the same time. So it's not really time for yourself,
Yeah.
so to speak. But the army modus operandi is that you're a soldier. Do mix up the two. Yes.
Yeah.
And I understood that.
That's solely first.
Yes. You know, because I had issues, you know, pertaining to football team. You know, whatever the team was football and we were advised, I got it distinct and clear in my mind that you know, I was a private soldier and getting my remuneration at the end of the month because that's what I signed. So I understood that clear, so I didn't have no issue with respect to. So whatever, whenever, wherever I was called upon to represent, was always 400. Was always 400. Even though we had whatever goals you might have had, never taken on the football. So playing for the national team was one thing, and then playing for the army team. So I spent from 1978 until 1984 in the Defence Force. But it's on leaving the Defence Force, I was still a national player. And there were things start turning because 1984 I left the army and I went to play for Motown. And the first time Motown ever win anything, 1984. We win League Cup, we win FA, Team of the Year, right? ASL won the league. And that is because of, again, management. And as I could talk about the lack of good governance, where the difference between teams on the outside to the military is that you couldn't defy the commander, but outside, and man go still defy and you get rid of that, and you go break down and you cause a back on the inside, and them simple things.
But Defence Force, you don't have that.
What's the matter with you, boy? Paulino fall out, right? What's the matter with you?
Paulino fall out.
Yeah, Paulino fall out. So I never had an issue with it because I understood clearly because the environment I came from Hillview College. So I always know how to follow you. Yes. So that foundation and discipline. So it made me more resilient understanding what was happening. So when I left now, and after 85, there was an issue in Trinidad football where it was having a bacchanal and a separation. Up to today, it still have that resonating from since that time. But what had happened is that we living in Mova now. So I moved from St. Augustine. Mommy still living thing, go and move to live Coconut Drive, living Coconut Drive. And down there, bunks up my old friend named Fitzroy Harper deceased now. Right? And Harper, we know from Curepe. So we decided, boy, you want me down here, do a thing, you know what I mean? Send the money. So we used to play CYO League, Saturday morning league, Christian's Youth Organization, the Catholic Church used to run it. So we used to play. He was Chelsea and he was Rangers. But I square Rangers, remember? He's St. Joseph, Chelsea. So it's battle and war football thing. But we come together and we form elements around June, that would have been for Labor Day, 1980. I was still a member of the Defence Force that time. So what was happening there was like, you know, balancing the act when you play in the minor league and sometimes I coaching there with them little fellas and them, and you know, because I'm happy for Trinidad and you know
you had the experience,
right?
Certain things.
So I had a young team at training finance, some right in the drive every day, and you know, developing players and all those things. And that's where Dennis Lawrence come out right next to he's living in my house in Coconut Drive. So what's that happening there now? So in the army, I'm playing for the national team, I'm playing for the Defence Force. And goal scoring was the main thing. So it wasn't whether how good or how bad your play was. Hey, you're bound to score.
You need to score.
Yeah, you need to score. You're bound to score, right?
You're
bound to score. So that was the whole attitude to whether you play good or you play bad. Scoring, because the whole aim and objective of the game of football is to score. That is why we play football. So I can't even remember a match from since I born to now with 0-0. I can't remember. Yeah, so I can't remember. So what happened is that after that transformation take, and I had now left the army, and Motown now, when you're going to play with Motown now in 1985, they tell me, you can't play for the national team. So I say, hey, I know what that.
Yeah.
I is a national striker, he's number one striker at that time, Trinidad. Check, because I don't think it have players score more goals than me for Trinidad from 1980 to 85. We didn't have nobody. I wanted to check all the games. I remember we played a tournament against India down here. 3 times we played them. We played them in the stadium. We played them in Skinner Park and we played them in Arima Stadium. They win the match first match 3-1. We win the next 2 games 3-1. I score in all the games. You understand? So the guy play to score consistently.
Yeah.
We need to get, how would you call that bomb to score? You understand? My good friend Stan John would have
Yeah.
learned. And I want to say it without apologies. All them players who come after this, all them players learn, them players, because I is the teacher. Not just the coach, but to teach, educate, and inform, and let them understand what is required at the international standard. So in coming with elements now, we go on in the North Zone because we move on, we go on thing, right? So first season, beat everybody like normal, you understand? Going up in the second division, going up now in the next division, and high all the top sides in Francois and all these, you know, all I can call side in the zone, all them top side in the zone, and beat up everybody. So I coaching and playing, you understand? I'm doing my studies and all this. Remember, I went to school, I learned to read and write. Now. But when we reach champions now, we're going to play Blackberry Angels and Couva United and Bish and all them. Everybody got legs to. So we go on now in the National League. This is 1987. 1987 now. Still playing and coaching. But back and all now, because right, I see them around the table now as an executive.
Yeah. Administration.
Administration.
Yeah, not just playing or coaching.
So I played coaching and administration. So I see them around the table with all them big club owners now. But remember, I come from the army. And I know order and discipline. And I see what's going on up here. My status changed because of the team. But behavior now started to get different because I see the real bully now.
Yeah.
The club used to control the gates and get TTFA 12.5% and all that changed because what's that happening? The brand where we bring the elements, we started to take over the crowd and public. Arima Stadium, you couldn't turn a room, man. Yeah, it didn't have a room. It didn't have a room. People leaving all over the comments because we was the big side at that time. And within that time now we playing players like within that time we had young players talking about Brenton Joseph, Sean Constantine. Russ Russell was my young goalie. You understand? Russ Russell was my goalkeeper. And we had senior players coming back to play. Men who they play for other teams before because we was the new young blood coming into the National League. Yeah. And with a branding, everybody, even opponents like that, you know what I mean? Because of the quality we bring. But the good governance started to have problems with respect to the administrators at the game. So the first thing they want to do now, and they do this, they come to mash me up because they come to take, the army come and they take Russ Russell. The police service take my brother Clyde, you know, Chintok take this one.
They pull it.
And up to today, they still do it because of the scientific approach. I've been developing players over the last, say, 40 years. And all the players, as I started to build a team, I don't get a chance. So, me playing, I never stop playing. Because if you read the paper sometimes in 2019, the oldest man to score.
I see you scoring in North Zone.
What I'm saying is that my playing career never stopped until this COVID thing because, you know what I mean, I put on weight. And the first time in my whole life, I ever stopped playing football. Yeah. From since I was born to now. And so stopping playing, well automatically I'm a coach now.
Right.
And but the playing days was fun. With Texas, we went out with Eddie Hart League. I went and played with Phoenix after that. Just before I went in the army, Bonan Bain was the coach. So getting that exposure, playing with Safranco United, right? Playing in Eddie Hart League and them things. Strengthen the fortitude, but still going without our father. And the coach, Mr. Murray, as you remember them, and I'm going to still teach them, Mr. Kokaram.
It's important to have mentors coming through.
And when I joined the army, I didn't have all, I had everything there. You know what I mean? The army, just calling, hey, it's not no late here. I did present to your absence. So don't play, don't come back.
No late. No late. What did you when we come back from break? I want to go into in terms of transition into administration now. We know you're part of the board of the North Zone, the same North Zone that you made elements to compete in. And you're coaching, your career in coaching, what certificates you have, how far, because you're speaking about the scientific approach. Yeah. I want to get in a little more into that before we go into the national setup. So when we come back, we're going a little deeper into Nevik Dunion and his life after playing.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions.
Ascension! Ascension! Premium quality and style make you stand out all the time. Ascension is quality for champions. Ascension fit is always right. Take your game to higher heights. Ascension got the quality for champions. So everybody say, hey, oh. We wearing Ascension when we play. To run out on the field in style. What's the brand that we want? Ascension! 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 We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension! We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension! We wearing what we wearing is Ascension.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions. Amante Del Cafe is located at Magnificent Mall, number 271 Southern Main Road, McBean, Couva. Amante Del Cafe. Happiness begins with brew. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages. From our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Or out fishing with the boys.
fun DDI experience with friends. Boat repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
As we said, the life after playing for Nevik, Nevik, give us the coaching aspect of things. Where you went, you did. If it's a license, a B license, C license.
Well,
what accreditation do you have currently?
Like I say, my experience in the national selection from 1975 with the Trinidad colleges up to the strike squad, that was one experience with respect to coaches at the international level, different local coaches and foreign coaches, Dutchman. But before that, just like I went and I did the PTI course, which is a physical training instructor's course. After that, I went in a Roy Miller International Olympic Committee in 1990 during the coup. I think people remember that. During the coup, there was a coaching course going on at the stadium, of which one of your favorite friends was on the course. So we were having that kind of conversations happening. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right? So what happened? I was 19 and then I went an advanced Brazilian course held by Mr. Ken Butcher and them at,
Right.
1994. In 1998, there was that time I was a coach at Joe Public. They brought a German coach there for a 2-week period. And I also attended university from 1994 to 1997 in sports, physical education, health sciences. So that just I would say I advanced to the PTI course, understanding the sense of coaching and training and advancing athletes in a better position physically, intrinsically, socially, and all these other aspects that's missing in Trinidad.
Yeah, that's important in the
Critical, I would say, critical because
that development.
it's
Because
yeah.
we normally watch athletes just playing on the field, but we know we have when they say the holistic development of an athlete, it's very important. It's more than just running and shooting.
Holistic means total.
Total, correct.
And I have had my experiences, and if I, with my granny and my mother wasn't holding on to that spirituality, insanity bordering, it bordered a number of times at a personal level, after my experiences, as any footballer would want to be, is to go to the World Cup. I've been around three campaigns. First one, 1982, where Alvin Coney was the coach. And again, I don't know if it's a neo-colonial behavior that some of the coaches have behaved, where sometimes the behavior just changed drastically. They would do things contrary to what they say they will do.
Yeah.
And I have an issue with that because granny growing me up and tell me everything you say, mean what you say, do what you say.
The word is your
Your
bond.
word is your bond. It's the only thing you could give and still keep.
Yeah.
So I live in that way. So when a coach say this and he move that, I just have a problem. You understand?
Yeah.
And when the signals crossing up, unlike the defense force when they say that.
Yeah, it's that.
It's that. So then in the environment now with the coach saying, and then there was a social issue with respect to relationship with Anton and that was a whole psychological trauma for someone, and then even I would see Anton suffering because of
Yeah.
So sometimes we do things without knowing, and sometimes we do things knowing wittingly or unwittingly, and it had effects. So within that coaching era, that was 1982, 1985, we went, and that was well, one of my moments. We draw one with Costa Rica in Costa Rica. I score. But what was happening is that we again El Jefe sell out the games from the information we received. This is just the alleged that this is
It's alleged.
right. So what I'm saying is that we were not given the opportunity to get something
Yeah.
right.
To
I know how it was
qualify.
good. So what happened is that I being a senior player now with my own team and all these nice things and everything and I was representing. They dropped me, they say,
Yeah, you're not play. You're not following
I a
Yeah,
troublemaker.
yeah.
A troublemaker. Because I stand up for my rights. And even while I was in the army, I'd stand up for my rights. But there's a way to do the
Yeah.
things. And I come from that school, orally, right? And that was one of the issue too where we were in Costa Rica. I was one of the only players on the team who could understand that Spanish because of my background from school. So to enter into Costa Rica, I was to talk to the cameraman. You understand? When players were something, I had to come and kind of, you know what I
Use
mean?
the translator
Yeah,
on the trip.
so the program
Yeah.
because the background what I had from school, I did Spanish for exam. So I understood the basic things,
Yeah.
breakfast thing. So I was able to get around. And after that, now that is 1985. So from that time, I was still a player with the national team. Remember my team in the zone, I'm meeting people. So again, them talk to, you know, you understand what I'm saying? Showing them, hey, all that thing, all they don't pick. So they had to pick me.
Yeah.
They had to play me. So it bring me up to strike squad. And so Elements is the hot team in the national, in the pro league, so to speak. And so I'm beating people and all these nice things. And the quality of the football is my concern, the quality brand. Man leaving and coming and then.
Yeah, they want to see. They
Yeah,
want
17 times, you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're knocking. And when I was with the Strike Squad from 29th January 1989, we went to Puerto Rico. And that we got to realize where we developed a dashboard puppies in Trinidad and Tobago football. Because of the fact that I was a senior player, they are very senior player. We had men like Carter and Span was there. Michael Morris was there. You know what I mean? I'm talking about senior players.
Yeah.
And we went to Puerto Rico for 6 weeks of training. I mean, you know, I'm talking about totally committed. I'm talking about for me personally, totally committed, 100% playing. At my best ever. Because you're not foreign land, you ain't going nowhere, eating, drinking,
Yeah,
sleeping,
football,
living,
everything is football. You know the task at hand.
No task at hand. It's the best preparation, I want to say, because Brandon Bailey, we were lifting weights, we were doing the program then. And after the tournament, we had a ceremony for, you know, most valuable player, you know, nice camp. But
camp.
I was the MVP.
MVP at the entire camp.
And the MVP entire camp. They picked 22 men and then picked me. So I started asking, what is going on here? So no answers. I said, boy, Granny tell me God is one point pajamas, you don't sleep. I leave and I walk away. I walk away. I've done that. I don't want to part of football. At home, and my deceased mother is telling me we are sitting and I know, but I was bordering on insanity. Remember, I give up everything. I give up. No, remember, I'm working. And that's another topic that where I would call him Mr. Innes and all those people who are men who wasn't working was supposed to get a stipend. Latapi, all of them. All of them was getting whatever from Caribbean, wherever. You know what I'm telling yours truly, right? So what happened there now is that after that I didn't want no part of football again. I was bored, I know, like I tell you.
Because you work hard for
and they tell me about like the MVP, so I was expecting.
Yeah. You're paying the work to.
However, my mother said they will come back for you. I said, Mom, what are you saying? She said, yeah, they're gonna come back for you. So I remember this is Kevin Cooper and John Sadman came to my house in Coconut driving over and telling me that the Shell Cup team.
This after the
No, we ain't play a match yet.
We
ain't play a match yet. What? We ain't what? The World Cup qualifying campaign, we ain't play a match yet.
Okay.
So I'm watching the coach and them, you know, so I say, anyhow, my deceased mother, who is my hero, she said, go and play and show them what you can do. I said, right! I said, boom, now I'm going. I am now the captain of Trinidad and Tobago for the first time in my life. I'm honored that is bestowed upon me. I feel in a different mood, a different zone. I say, boy, this thing, I started my whole mindset. I started to regenerate myself then. First match we're going to play, a team in Aruba, was it 11? We get them 11. The game was such a performance then. You understand what I'm saying? Elliot Allen scored 4. Richard Fraser scored 4. Garfield Silva. I missed a penalty in that game and all. But the environment, the whole stadium
Yeah.
full in arena, everything was nice. But the insanity showed up that one of the players from that team, which is Elliot Allen, who was in the 22, next day he get picked.
Into the 22.
In the 22, so they're going to 23. But they're not watching the engine room.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching, they're generating like that, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, because I'm top of the game. Because they said this is the team that will go and play the Shell Cup. So we win out thing, beat people. The last international goal was against Trinidad. We're going to play Friends Guyana. The newspapers say that Trinidad, Friends Guyana out of football for 30 years. What was the last result? This is modern time. We played Friends Guyana in 1989. The score was 3-1. Garfield Silva, Richard Fraser, and myself. That was my last international goal in Friends Guyana. How good? But what I noticed with people in some of the news people, it doesn't put into the facts because of where you come from and who you are. You understand? And you do kowtow to the whims and fancies, and you're not begging them. You understand what I'm saying to you? Also, with respect to that, after that whole episode, we qualify and think, they come and send the World Cup players who kick a match towards that qualification. They carry them in the finals in Barbados. All them set of players, and nobody in stand up and say, but that same year, 1989, I'm going to watch a football match and stay away. So that November 19th, to me, was a celebration of negativity, a celebration of nothing to celebrate. Like that Mexico we had in the Gold Cup recently, where we draw and we celebrate and apart like if we do anything.
Yeah.
It's the same spirit, and that is the thing what we're missing. The spirit of the thing, where we only looking at the physical part and the spiritual part, which is my consciousness, which is I put out. I would have liked to know how a player like Abubakar feel then. Sick.
We get to that.
Yeah,
but I really wanted to get the feel of that because most persons you speak to, when they talk about that strike squad team, they say never Dinoon should have been on that squad. Anybody around that generation of players would say never Dinoon should have been on that squad. And we really wanted to get the feel of how you felt being left out of.
You feel discarded and after years of service, you know. And then other players, especially the captain, and said nothing on my behalf. You understand? Nobody and stuff. Up to now, this is because the fact is how I live with them, because I was there before them. Remember, I guess since 1980, you know. And all them come and meet me there, you know, and I hope me don't teach them. And it's like, you can't question. I question things. They teach me in school to question the thing. The only question I didn't ask the foolish one. Mm-hmm. So I ask questions. So when I ask Mr. Warner, so what are you having in store for the players? They start up. Because players would know that what's over my years, even up to now.
Yeah, but we even at that time, Dinoon, to now, we still have that problem. We had the issue of before the same Shell Cup, the team striking in Hilton, asking what's going on with the players. It's because constantly we have those same.
And that's because of the fact of the lack of good governance. You want to have a football thing and you have nothing in store for the players. The players
currently right now there's an issue going on. The Gold Cup squad that we had so much joy and hope being brought back to the country. The players haven't been compensated for the Gold Cup yet. Still.
And that is because of the lack of good governance, because people want most of the people who go there in administrative positions, they belong to the friendship association of somebody here. and it's not because they have been entwined in sports or football or whatever, and they have the knowledge and they have the interest of the athlete at heart. Because the whole thing is about the athlete, which is the footballer who produces it. And we need to have quality players to bring quality football. And days gone by, they had much more quality players available to the coaches. And that's because men were more committed and dedicated towards the game and the love for the game. So, to have certain things like no girl can come before football. You understand? Anything. Football first, second, and third. So these things were one of our hindrances in the later stage of the game. And that is why we have a number of issues coming out. where we have youngsters now.
Yeah.
And the exposure to international football. And that with the coaching coming in now. So as you say, go back to my coaching, I am like coaching and playing over the years, and subsequently to that now I would be involved. I used to coach PT Valley United, where since I graduated from university, a number of institutions. I would have coached QRC 2003, where even now the player in the national team are rather than far. I mean, I was his coach at QRC, and I since 2003. I went to presentation in San Fernando, 2006. I mean, I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I'm with international flavor. So what has come? Let difficult things, and because of my experiences with respect to the scientific approach to coaching, it has made coaching for me much easier. I have learned what not to do. And this is what has been really coming to the fore and making it significant, and where the athletes are enjoying the success that they achieve, even though sometimes it might not be on the field, it might be off the field. And that is where we have to understand the athlete a little better. So when he comes to the field, he gives you that 100% performances. So coaching now, I have a stint with Joe Public, and the issues around some of these institutions is that they do not allow the freedom that is needed at the international level, because my experience at Joe Public, everybody want to pick the side. You understand what I'm saying to you? I coach Angus Eve, Duaruka, Conte, Travis Morin, the Cis Makomi. I could call C. Showing Julian. I could call all them fellas and them, because I understood. And again, to the Mr. LFA, he just didn't have the correct people in his support, and people who was there they was there to the own aggrandizement. I could say without apologies, they was there for the own aggrandizement. So they embarrass him. You understand what I'm saying? They embarrass him because he leaves something to do and he didn't do it properly, or he didn't have the knowledge and didn't want to see the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? Because I was the coach at Joe Public in 1990. Check the years in 1990 and you would see. And I walked away from that because of the fact that the technical director wanted to pick my side, and he wanted this and he wanted that and he wanted thing, and upsetting the program, my program, which is to bring success and elevation. And because of where that place is in Tunapuna and where I went to school, go ahead, I went home. So the whole environment was mine. And we started to deliver. And when I walked away, the master boss, where we go? I said, hey, that doesn't work. That doesn't look good. I'm not a part of that. You understand? And I walked away, and I lived to see certain things happen because of decision made. So I'm in a position now as a club owner, and understanding why it is we have young black youths especially failing and walking away from the game at 19. You know, they're not seeing a future in football. So right now, they're sitting down on the block on my knee right now. And I had to try to get them a dollar here and a dollar there.
But never now going into administration. You are a executive member of the North Zone Football Association. What give me the experience of, because we would have been installed when sometime last year.
Well, basically it was, I would say this year, beginning 28th December. So basically it was this year, and we've been having some meetings, but we've been encountering a number, I say, challenges with respect to the financial situation, and due to the COVID, it's not helping either. So we're trying to see how best we could ensure that whoever is responsible for the accounts will be held responsible, and everybody in his position will be called to account. And understanding the way forward has to do with the teams involved and the youth involved. We have planned youth programs, and that has to be because we are concerned with a number of youths right now out of school or virtual school, which is, to me, is a real
that's a challenge.
Extra challenge because I haven't seen my players now walking the streets. I usually would hustling, especially those guys like 16 and 17. They're hustling on the street, they're selling whatever they can, water, chenet, mango, plum, guava, anything they sell.
During school hours, and then you tell me about virtual, right? I'm saying this. We're going to have a social problem that is going to be very, very much challenging in the very near future. It has started to have psychological effects on the parents, because the parents now
calling me to talk to their young sons, especially. The coach has influence over players to an extent, and parents, like I said.
But how difficult is that right now without football being played?
It has been extremely difficult now because what happened, it has to be on our telephone. And then like our next course by itself. And when I put on the phone, I don't know what's going on when I put on the phone, and parents have to be calling me all was ungodly hours. And now I can't even come out again because it's curfew.
Yeah.
I have to leave my house to go because a youth man get in trouble home or something, and he listen only to the coach listen because he want to play football. And we have to create an environment now where we can challenge these guys with the discipline which is required. So we have that extra challenge, and the lack of help, I would dare say, from corporate Trinidad and Tobago, which we hope could invest in the youths, because it's not just investing in maybe the football club, but it's the youths that involve and the natural resource of the country. And all these youths who we don't really look after. The one that you miss is the one that going on it. And this is what's happening right now. We're having a social problem right now. It is going to be exacerbated in the near future because inside now, these youths having a good time, and I'm seeing the new product, 1 or 2 little young babies coming out now. So I have players who's 20 years old, 19 years old, until Sarge. I have a young baby, and you have $5 here to buy milk, to buy everything. So, and then parents having problems now because inside the house there's no more room, and there's extra mouth to feed, and extra baby crying at night. That crying in the night. So the social aspect of the thing coming out. So look, Trinidad and Tobago on itself need to get with the population, because we don't have 2 million people, and the resource that we have in this country, I think we're able to surely get over that by advancing, like I said, through the scientific approach, set standards for the players and for the athletes, physical standards, so that, let's just say, a player must cross 3,200 meters in maybe 15 minutes. So we know definitely if he has achieved that in itself is an intrinsic development.
Yeah.
He understands now, yes, boy, I get over this hurdle. It's like, when we're young, you get your 5 level, you get maths and English, you know you have a job. Long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that you had something to look forward to. So we need to set standards to encourage, the behavior towards achieving those goals. And then it comes down to the technical aspect of the game, where you have, again, standards. I would say 50 right, 50.
Well, the person to set the standard for football, the NGO, the TTFA, when we come back from break, Nevik, I want to get into your thoughts on what's happening with the TTFA. We know we are in a normalization committee process. We are normalized. The TTFA is normalized at this present moment. So I'll get your thoughts on that, and a bit of the Gold Cup and the failed World Cup bid as well. So when we come back, we talk a little about the TTFA with Nevik Dino.
Pest control is a pain, but you don't have to go it alone. If you're a business that needs someone who will fix your problems point blank, go with the brand that's tested. Go with Terminix. Born almost a century ago in Memphis, Tennessee, Terminix International's mission has been to spread its innovations across the world through its integrated pest and termite management system, reducing the infestation of pests and vermin. Our Trinidad franchise neutralizes the threat of tropical insects and ensures that companies, from food production to hospitality, protect their investment and get the maximum value from our relationship. And we've been doing it well for over 20 years. Termites and pests are relentless, but they're no match for Terminix. Contact us today for a free consultation and quote, and let's introduce you to convenience. Protect your premises today. Choose a service provider that persists. Talk to Terminix.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042, or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions.
Hey, Ascension! Ascension! Premium quality and style. make you stand out all the time. Ascension is quality for champions. Ascension fit is always right. Take your game to higher heights. Ascension got the quality for champions. Now everybody say, hey, oh. We wearing Ascension when we play. To run out on the field in style. What's the brand that we want? Ascension, Ascension, Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension.
Get in the game with Ascension. Quality for champions. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Or out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with friends. Boat repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
Amante Del Cafe is located at Magnificent Mall, number 271 Southern Main Road, McBean, Couva. Amante Del Cafe. Happiness begins with brew.
As we said, Nevik is here. We need to ask him about the TTFA, his views. As we all know, he's someone with strong views, strong beliefs, and we want to get the honest views of you, Nevik, in terms of the TTFA. I want to start off with the failed World Cup bid. We had a foreign coach in Coach Terry Fenwick being charged with the responsibility to get our team to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. There was so much turmoil around his appointment. If it was a 2-year, 1 year, the course and whatnot. What's your view on your take on that campaign and Coach Terry Fenwick? I want to get your feel on it.
First of all, I just want to say the end result spoke for itself. I'll start from the ending there because if we go back maybe a year before that, there was total turmoil in Trinidad football. We were having issues with the former president and this president and a whole heap of things. So the spirit of the game in Trinidad and Tobago was not being cultured and nurtured. So you're going to have the demons coming in, so to speak. A lot of he say and she say and them say and they say, where the child is suffering now because the two parents can't agree and the neighbor take care of the child. So football became a bastard child. And only men like myself are saying that, and people who involve intrinsically on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, who really want to see this thing alive, resuscitating, regenerating, you know, to ensure that this thing go in a certain way. We had issues with Terry Fenwick till one person administrator again apologized. So that is the depth this thing had gone. You're not selecting based on performance, based on certification and whatever. You're based on, you see me, I like he, I don't like he, I don't like that. And that is the problem we have. You bring a foreign coach again, and he's been given the necessities. You know what I mean? And that's what going back to the old neo-colonial behavior. He's a white man, so game that. He's a black boy, game that. No, he's a rasta, nothing for you, right? So it's an attitude. But I've been taught that attitude determines altitude. If you weren't treating players good, you expect that to grow. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So before Fenwick started, it was done failure. But to his credit, he didn't lose that much. So if you're watching it from that perspective, when he started to go a kind of way, it had men who didn't want him in the beginning. Yeah. I didn't want you, but you end up there. All right, remember it's the big picture, Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. But people start to watch, and that is the problem now. We start to fight against, and he didn't have the cause neither. Yeah. By, in my opinion, you can't have players training here for a year, and you're ready to go to America to play, and you drop them playing a point. So that, you will not go further than there for me. Yeah. So automatically, that is again based on administration. Who is the normalizing committee?
The normalization committee was in charge. The previous regime would have appointed him, but the normalization would have been in charge at that point.
Right. Now, they are the ones who really do. They are businessmen, I would say. I'm not too sure what they understand about football. And because sometimes you make a business deal instead of a football deal, you're going to have problems. Because when you make a business deal, the football get real shatter and batter and scatter. And then now, the football going right down like we is right now. And involved in the Caribbean Children Charity Shield Soccer Classic now, this is for 7 years with Mr. Hamilton lastly out of Barbados, the former government minister. We are exposing youngsters now from under 13s, under 15s, and under 17s. Because you can't have an athlete coming to represent Trinidad and Tobago and the first exposure to international match is when he's 19 years. Yeah. It's not going to work. Right? So the administrators have a lot to do with respect to that area. And in building. How do you think they reach to the latter piece and these guys? Because these guys are being trained and being nurtured and allowed opportunity to come and mix with the senior players and get the discipline that was required, even though they carry discipline to the next level. You know someone I'm saying to you? And that has been part of the failure. Where they allow, when we were playing, the good players kept the discipline so we were able to maintain the standard all around. But the problem is with administrators. They like this one and they don't like that one. And because of their behavior towards athletes, they go like, so we do the same thing, but I go get punishment and the next man get punishment.
And we see that within the national structure.
It's not going to work. It's not good, but it don't work because he's the staff. Yeah. You understand? And see, how me out there, right? Yeah. I following him by I pay the price because he get to play, right?
But so yeah, I understand you're saying Coach Terry, his failures was basically somehow
designed to fail. He
didn't stand a chance from
he didn't have a chance.
But then we removed after the second draw. I think when we realized we wasn't coming out of the group, I think his fate was sealed in terms of being removed, and he was removed after the World Cup bid, and then we had some World Cup qualifying ahead.
Well, that is where the air
And
did get rare
Yeah,
when they decided to, because everything is order, you know. And if you have a coach who would have been given opportunity, it have other coaches, but it have men who have been like myself. I'm talking about, and I thought other people. I'm here because I'm talking about me right now, who would have achieved certain success, but because I'm not a dashboard puppy. You understand? If he ain't come practice, he's not gonna play because he said something. Because he's star boy, he went and thing and come in. You tell me he had to play because no.
but the success of the Gold Cup team, the
success, you say?
Well, at least success to qualify. We had an interim coach. I'll get to the actual Gold Cup. So we brought in an interim coach in Angassi for the period. He had 2 games to play, qualifiers. We won the first game convincingly, and then the second game we drew and won on penalties to qualify for the Gold Cup. What's your thought on the actual Gold Cup campaign now with Coach Angassi, and where do we?
All right. To be fair to Angassi, I think accepting the job was part of the whole issue, because you know what you're getting yourself involved in. I was following the program at Angas because, like I said, Angas, I was at one time assisting Angas in development, right? And to reach to the point where, I mean, like I said, his coach, all right, yeah, support it. But when decisions start to go awry, because as a coach, and the scientific approach is a gradual progression to the program. They're going to see, feel, and they're going to take a ride along with it, because as you're going to enjoy the science going then, because you're going to see the regeneration, you're going to see and feel it. So after the first match, it was Montserrat, who is Montserrat, I think it was?
Yeah, I mean,
6-1.
The qualifiers, yes.
6-1. And to me, Montserrat was, in our time, I never played against Montserrat, so they would never answer. So I expected nothing.
Yeah, but a victory.
Right. So French Guiana now, when I started to see, like, this is my opinion, the keeper, I find we are better than that, me personally watching. I saying, but how come? What about, I started to question certain things. And I'm watching the brand that we're playing now. That was my concern. I didn't see the combinations I was looking for, which is in attack. I was seeing a pass in the back, so it was kind of too easy it was too. You know what I mean? Looking for the correct word here, easy. You see that, and then you go see a ball come over the top, and I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
I thought we needed more combinations that, you know what I mean? I see some kind of thing. I didn't see that. And then when we went to play Mexico, because after we qualified, I was glad, and like I tell you, I got regenerated because that whole French Guiana thing, and I score, and them men talk about this, but you know what I mean? I'm questioning, how come they, at least nobody in advancing that cause. Then saying the China been 3-1 and the scorers was so anyhow, again I got accustomed to that, right? So when after that now, when we get that match, I see we play defensive. I see men who never play. It's the first time I sit down and watch a whole lot of that match play. Because I like what I seen on when I see Abubakar play, who was right. So I say, hey, how long me play? How long me and see Abubakar play? And I know. I hope you're ready. That's why I tell myself, I hope you what? You're ready. When the match finished, a man sent a clip on my phone showing party. I said, boy, the charge, man, boy. We ain't do nothing. We ain't do nothing. And we partying. Why? This match against Mexico, real good, boy. I started to think, when they put the defensive mode, I said, well done, coach. Me. Because but I lost the plot after that match. Because I listened to what the coach saying. I read the reports again in the newspaper. The coach is saying that El Salvador, which is the next match, is playing better than Mexico.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play open. Is it because that the Pelibus and Mexico quarrel and this and that, the social aspect?
Yeah, the pressure of
the social aspect had a psychological effect where fear came in.
Yeah.
Because based on the the approach with the coach used for the match, this is me and my evaluation. In hindsight, he played so because he didn't want 5. He didn't play so because that was the best approach.
Tactic, yeah.
Because of what you do in the second game. Because what would have happened is that, in my opinion, from that match with Mexico where we celebrate everything, even though I understand and I hear why I ask myself, when I see the celebration, I wonder what Abu Bakr is doing at this moment.
Yeah.
Right. So after that now, when I see the next match and I see the kind of new changes, I say, but in any system, what happened to the coach? Somebody give me a call to the coach now. So me and my children watching and I saying, oh, we're going to lose this match. Where the rest of players? Yeah. What happens from there is that our psychological part and our social, which is the team, started to disintegrate. Automatically, I was expecting to play again. Because we win and we celebrate. And I didn't play. So after that match, I still feeling that way then. We lost now, I remember. Yeah. But now, the first match, it was 1 out of 3. Because that was one match. And one match. Mexico had 1, we had 1. El Salvador had 3 because they beat Guatemala. Correct. So going to the next game now against El Salvador, I would have played the same way, but I would have improved my attacking strategy because if that striker more in the first match against Mexico, if he was tuned on, and that is what I'm saying, the whole team was in a psychological defensive mood, and that is where now to detox a man from this, the science is coming to detox a man from a scientific defensive mode to a scientific attacking mode. He gonna need a couple of days. We didn't have that at our disposal. So to transform the team from a defensive mode,
it was difficult.
In my opinion,
it would have been difficult.
Right. So what happened there now is that we tried to transform and whatever, and the failure there now. So what happened there now? If we draw the match against El Salvador, playing defensive, we'd have been going to the last game with 2 points.
Yeah. With a victory in that game, automatic.
We inside. They have back with Mexico and El Salvador.
They have to decide who.
Right, and that is where the psychological and the science.
So at that point, you felt that we lost the plot.
Everything. From the time I see the starting team, I went and sleep.
So you're true. So in your belief, looking back on things, watching at the campaign, the draw against Mexico was in terms of trying to be defensive, in terms of not getting 7 as we got against USA with Terry Fenwick's first game, to say, all right, I don't want to get 7. We're going to play defensive, but it wasn't a game plan in terms of saying we need to get two draws, 2 points from these first 2 games and ensure we win the third game.
So that is a problem with governance, where we had 9 points we start off with. What we could do, best, somebody maximum we could get, you could get 9. What we could do for Mexico, we could draw against Mexico and draw against El Salvador and beat Guatemala. So we went up with 5. So to me, it didn't have that kind of tactical awareness with respect. Or if it was there, he did not listen to maybe the coaches who advise. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because when you're not inside, you don't know what's going on with the family.
We saw what happened. Yeah.
And after that now, when we lose that match against El Salvador, the next match going, here I tell my children and them, because my children is football too. I say, go try to win this match now because you want to save face now. Want to save face. I said, but it's not so it does work. Because what would have happened is that, remember, you went defensive. You ain't no goal and score against you, you ain't score no goal. You go and play attack and you still in score. Yeah. So the players now who would have been there, who would have played in the first game, who would have been hoping to play in the second game and didn't play, they starting to unwind, so to speak. In the psychological mood, in the social mood, they're taking it, calming it down, and they're not into it. Because my boots and tie again, I slack in my laces now. I pull down my socks, take off my shin pad. You know what I mean? I'm watching the game as intense as I should be, right? And then the coach say, hey, you're going on. And he catch me, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Mentally,
right, I'm ready. Psychologically, I'm ready. So what would have happened is that after scoring that goal, which I can't understand up to now, because I'm watching from a technical point of view, the man who scored the goal, he scored the left foot from. that whole analogy, I have to watch it again because I want to see it from close up to watch the intentions of the man who passed the ball. In my opinion, it didn't look like a pass. I could be wrong. I want to see it again. But after that, you could have seen the bench stop playing with respect to the enthusiasm that was being shown. Because when you look at the bench, you see what's going on there, right? And it wasn't there. And when men realize the game's going to go down now, 20 minutes to go, and we'll get to play again now. Right? We don't know it already, right? We don't know it already, ain't going to play.
You hear any scores in another game,
right.
Mexico down on top.
Right. So what's that happening to you now? You start to switch off. But Guatemala now, they have no points.
Mm-hmm.
They're desperate.
They never went to a Gold Cup and not leave without at least a point. So they need to get at least their 1 point.
The desperate journey. Yeah. But what is that set play we score against me? Yeah. So automatically, I wasn't prepared again. Because if I was prepared, at least that ball, the man will not get a score. Yeah. And I win that game. But when you half of your bench and playing, while the man's remember to play till and that was missing in me. So the team spirit get disjointed.
And so I understand that. I want to ask you a few questions before we go to the hot seat. Do you think that Angus did enough to get the job permanently from that Gold Cup campaign?
If we go into the scientific approach, we would say first we had to get the statistics. The statistics will show that out of 9 points, he had 2. 2 out of 9. We only mathematicians will tell you what kind of percentage that is. If we talk about going to the science again with respect to the goals scored and goals against, we will see we score 1 and we get 3 again. So you know what kind of percentage is that again. If we go to the psychological aspect of the game with respect to the because I listen to most of the players disappointed. Disappointed of what? Disappointed what you had that you lose, that you get disappointed for what it is. All right, that means they probably had a belief. And when things didn't go right, and the disappointment came because of inaction, I would say. So the players who, I want to use Abubakar here, because I know as a senior player, and you get to play, after playing maybe one of your best games in your life, you could be rotted right now. And that alone, again, based on, if a man was getting biscuit before and now we're getting bread, he might feel alright, he get improvement, but we are accustomed to homemade style and a nice thing. A nice thing. So while I would say not a success for me.
Yeah. So you personally don't believe that he did enough to he could get the job, but you don't believe that he's in the driver's seat.
You see, because even from a personal level, I mean, if you want to say talk about my own involvement, I mean to elevate the team to the next level, the scientific approach is what is needed right now to ensure that everyone on board knows this is what's going on, and there's a program in place, and you have it documented, and the coach or the trainer can see, and everybody know where it is going. It's not no secret. It's an open, so a player will know what is his heart rate, monitoring his heart rate, what is his heart rate reserve, what is his maximum heart rate, how much, because in international sports, recovery is the name of the game. And if an athlete does not know what is required to maintain his metabolic rate, to maintain his heart, to do these things, then we are going to be behind totally now, because in the Caribbean countries, there used to be a fear when we used to play in it against Trinidad. Now, no longer the fear is there. They are coming now, they feel they can beat us. So we need to ensure that we up with the scientific approach. That means the intrinsic development of the athlete. An athlete must know everything about himself before he starts to play. Where's his height, where's his weight, what size he wearing, all these nice things. So when he comes, we must know as administrators who is the fastest, who is the slowest, who is the most skillful man, who is what. So that when we know what is going to happen, we can see and follow the program and progress of the team. Because what has happened is that you expect, like a good goal scorer, you expect that he will score. You think Lewandowski playing that match and your marketing was going to happen? Right, and that is what we long time trainer we used to have that. So
But getting back to those days, we are in normalization. We are normalized by FIFA.
Yeah.
CONCACAF and FIFA, we are normalized as the TTFA. Currently, we have a head of the normalization committee, Mr. Haddad. The committee is there. Not being fully rooted within sports, as you said before, business. And they are there primarily to deal with the financial woes that Trinidad football is in. We're talking about 100 million in debt for the federation. But with your belief, where do you rate the normalization committee currently when it comes to football? We know the importance of football being played. We need to have football at some time starting in locally. Do you think the normalization committee is doing enough to have that resume?
If you really want my honest answer, this is a social problem here, because 95% of the people who play football is black people. And the business fraternity is not black. And because there's no interest, per se, from any of those ethnic groups, they have no interest there. They're not interested whether who or what. If only make good, we'll come and support, but we are not going to, like, for cricket, have a this and that and that and that. And because of the ethnicity of a person. And we are suffering because of that greatly. So the committee might mean well, but the bees goes fatter under the eyes of the master. You need to put somebody there who's interested and understand what is required and who's advancing the cause towards the development, not just the whole national program, not just a little small entity here or entity there, or periodically. You know, so we need to have something, like I say, holistic, so that we ensure that, all right, we have athletes from 2021. This is the national selection we have. How many of these athletes, what is the average age of these athletes? So you go into science again. So we say, all right, we have that. But I must want to pick my friend because he's my friend and he's unfit. You're saying he's unfit and you're still going and playing and you're going to give him a whole match. The scientific approach does not require that kind of behavior.
Does not allow for that.
No, it doesn't allow for that. So the first thing must happen, they have all attained the level of the physical conditioning. So I, as a coach, don't have to worry if I'm unfit. So what do you do?
And we're playing 4 or 5 matches and then we're saying, well, the fitness is less than...
So what foolish is it telling me then? So what is it telling me? So automatically, you are not ready. Right? You are just, like I'm saying...
So what is the grade? I want to get, before we go to the hot seat, what is the grade of the normalization committee? I've been a year and plus. What's the grade? 10 being the highest. What mark do you give the normalization committee currently for football?
You see, again, I had the number 10 on my back again, I can tell you. And 1 from 10 is not. You understand what I'm saying to you? And not from 10 is 1. So if you want to take anything from that 10, take either the 1 or the not, because it's really nothing not coming out at the end result. I'm seeing end result. And normally end result just take care of itself. If you're doing something, if you're planting seeds and taking, after the tree does bear and everything does nice, something after a while, you know. But if you ain't doing nothing. So to me, the normalization is just maybe being I want to say, you know, friendly. Yes. You know, like I said, old neo-colonialism. They will listen to what you have to say and there was nothing about what you say. You know what I'm saying to you? Unless you go to the old days, you have something from me, but you ain't give me that ring your hand and take it. Because it's mine. So if we allow, again, if there's a way, if it's maybe through the Ascension or through some other powers that the FIFA people would ensure that, obviously, I see they recover some 100 millions and things that
201 million.
That these funds are allocated and allowed to go to the institutions that is required and needed, so that the youths who are involved, both male and female, could be afforded the opportunity, because they are taking away opportunities from us. They're not affording us the opportunity. Right? And it's through the opportunity that you have given me. It's the first time they're seeing me on the TV here. And the opportunity, I want to thank the Ascension people for this opportunity to voice. Because just like the youths, in Mova and East Port of Spain, I've been affording them the opportunity to play international football from 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent, Guyana, Grenada, St. Lucia. We have taken youth from underprivileged areas, Mova, Lavante, on areas in the Bacarima somewhere, and afforded them the opportunity. And it's not just about football, it's about ball and books. And some of these fellas now are being afforded opportunities, universities and things. So we are using football as the vehicle to get us, how you say, the LTP, the long-term player development, which is through the science and maybe the normalizing committee need to get the scientific approach.
I think we need a whole next show to go into more things. I hope you'll come back on.
Yes,
on
because
set.
I need to come back because
I hope you'll come back on. Set.
It's just the beginning because we need to ensure that the regeneration takes place. I'm saying that the people who want to run the football need to get with it. Mr. Haddad, sometimes you have to come to the mountains or bring the mountains to him. So I don't know, Mr. Haddad, which is the approach, that we should take towards advancing the cause of the football. If you are open to allowing opportunities, because the technical committee of the TTFA has failed. Because they're apologizing, whoever it might be, and now they're going to put someone who, from Terry, you arrive at, and what happened to the senior coaches there that would have been afforded the opportunity, or who would have been certified and qualified, like myself.
Well, there would be a time. There would be a time when they're going to call for coaches to come in to fill the position on a permanent basis.
I am publicly now putting my hat in the ring.
You would be applying for the position when it becomes open.
Right, because in the beginning I applied.
Okay.
I applied and I understood that I'm telling people that these guys here, they want.
And with your background and your pedigree in terms of football, I think they'll have to at least take a look in terms of what you have done in the past. Most persons would have had issues with different criteria. I think the criteria that they're mentioning now with the Coaches Association, and even with the head of the normalization saying he's putting together a committee, I think local coaches should have a fair shot in terms of.
Yes, I agree with that. But I want to just ignite here somebody. Where is the Players Association? That's just a ball here for people, right? So, right, Mr. Ascension, because the players are the number one factor in this equation here. And if we don't make sure and ensure that the players' needs and requirements, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food, clothing, shelter, and love, because some of the players come into the environment and not given that love that is needed.
Well, we'll have to do another show for sure. But for now, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Must put you on the hot seat. So when we come back, we'll put Nevik Dunoon on the Lasso Free hot seat.
In the game with Ascension, quality for champion.
Ascension. Premium quality and style make you stand out all the time. Ascension is quality for champion. Ascension fit is always right. Take your game to higher height. Ascension got the quality for champion. So everybody say, we wearing Ascension when we play. Don't run out on the feeling style. What's the brand that we want? Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension. Quality for a champion. Ascension. We wearing what we wearing is Ascension.
Get in the game with Ascension, quality for champions.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Or out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with friends. Boat repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
Amante Del Cafe is located at Magnificent Mall, number 271 Southern Main Road, McBean, Couva. Amante Del Cafe. Happiness begins with brew.
And we're back for the Lasso Frame Marina hot seat with Nevik Duno. Nevik, I needed to, on the hot seat, I needed to give me an all-time best Trinidad 11. Cannot select yourself. I know you missed out on the strike squad, but you can't select yourself on this team.
I noticed you Lasso Frame. Lasso Frame cause bust head and blood in it. So if you do go to Lasso Frame hot seat, that means it get hotter.
It get hot.
But
I first want you to give me the formation that you want to play, and then fill out the team.
Again, eras is bring formation. And if we're in this era here, like now, I would have played a 4-3-3. I would have played a 4-3-3 simply because of the science of the game. I would encourage players to understand the role and function, more specifically. Way before we had the 4-2-4, with too many to control that middle. And now, if I put extra man, but I don't want to take away from the front. So I would have divide the better the field in three. And give them 3 strikers in front, 3 into the width of the field, like we say 90 meters or 80 meters, are divided in 3. So automatically these guys will understand these the role and function in front. So 3 midfielders enough and 4 defenders with men overlapping and having a good time and looking nice.
Okay, nice.
Right, so what we start on the front? We start in the back?
Starting back, give me a goal.
Well, boy, based on the goalkeeping.
And you would have seen.
Well,
You would have seen.
Well, boy, I see plenty of them.
Plenty, I see
but,
plenty.
But you know, it would be easier for them to call my name because I always put it in the back of there. So what happened? You see, growing up and thing, I might have been biased because I see plenty of Tommy Rock. You know what I'm saying? I see real plenty of Tommy Rock, and in them times in the 60s, Tommy Rock came up a non-entity and saving for the national, he was a national selection keeper. So based on that, I played plenty with Michael Morris from 1976 until Strike squad. So almost 15 years I played with Michael. So them based on that, I will go Michael Morris.
Michael Morrison goal.
Yeah. You know, so now that little thing, you know, but I because I a little bit biased because of the years we play together. You know what I mean? And again, Michael Morris. You know what I mean? I pick Michael Morris, I pick Tommy Rock, and
So give me a back four. So we have Michael Morrison goal. Give me a back four.
But back four, especially the middle would have be my middle would have be Calais Andrews. I mean, you see, but based again on people's lack of knowledge of Calais and things, they might understand Calais and appearances but I watch football like this from a footballing perspective. And as a young fella, I watch Russell Teixeira. I watch him playing a stopper and a front stopper and you know what I mean, as a youth man, I watch Russell Teixeira play. You know what I mean? I watch some other good men play in that position. I watch Cyril Sugaru play. I watch them senior men play from that time and how them used to play grudging, you know what I mean? That kind of no prisoners.
No prisoners.
Them kind of things there. So based on that middle would have, you understand what I'm saying?
You're going Calais and Russell Teixeira.
Right? Any wing back position, and that is a place where, boy, outstanding wing backs, boy. That is a place where young time when they were playing, they know you were attack. They know you were attack plenty. But if I would have called, that's a difficult thing to call.
Give me 2 wing backs, left back, right back.
Left back and right back, boy. I watch left back, boy. I would say Steve Play.
And you right back.
Right back, boy.
If you have all that you would have mentioned, which one if you need to go to war, as you say, a soldier, going to war, which one you picking in that squad?
Well, you know, I'll go for the soldier, right? Again, because men don't play long. That is part of the problem. So you should have some criteria on this selection.
Give me that's who you would go to war, who you would select on your nest. Give me who you put that one right back. Who you put in?
No, I say left back too.
They'll pick your left back. I did with your right back.
No, right. I would have said I stand up and see because I remember playing with you and I think with you a different thing. I will go for Gordon Husbands.
Gordon Husbands. And give me a midfield, the 3 in your midfield.
The 3 midfielders. My 3 midfielders who I see play and who I enjoy seeing play football and who I play with and who I enjoy playing with. Curtis Morrell, Grantley Maxwell, midfielder, Wasi, Alibeta Achibal, 1976, Warren Achibal. I see him do something like that, youth man, run down a line, run course, do things again. I see that in a 3-1 World Cup qualifier in Barbados. We were going to Puerto Rico, the national youth team, and stop in and watch that match. And I remember he scored. Yeah, that is what I've been a true midfielder.
And on top.
So that we're
You can't pick yourself in the striker.
Right. 3 strikers. Both Neptune. Steve David. Sammy Love.
3 up top.
Yeah.
And that does it for another Lasso Frame Marina hot seat.
Yeah.
Nevik, I want to tell you thanks for coming, thanks for giving us the history lesson, thanks for giving us your views. And we would ask you to come on the set once again. As we see the developments in football, we'd like to bring you back on the set at some time to get your thoughts and your feelings.
Yes, again, always available to the news, always available. But I'm saying we, and from a personal point of view, need to be afforded the use of the scientific approach towards advancing the cause of football. The regeneration is a must, but through the science.
Thanks again. And that does it for another Ascension show. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and our website at theascensiontournament.com.